good. And it was our first time testing lactate reality.
I had a very negative perspective on everything where I just thought everything I did wasn't good enough and I was never going to be good enough. And if I had a good, say, interval session and then I would do a not so good workout after that, then my whole day is ruined. I had a terrible training day. I can't get through it, and it was just this constant like spiral that I had every single day. It ultimately got to the point where I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I did get to the point of like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't deal with this every day, and I just felt so miserable. Eventually, like after the games, I was trying to get back into things after a bit of a break, and I felt ready enough, but you never really know if you're ready enough. I just kind of took time off. I don't know that I necessarily put a lot of time and effort into changing my perspective on training because I wasn't training.
My name is Emma Lawson. I'm 20 years old. I live in Ontario, Canada, and I train with Brute.
Threshold is could be a little big. Yeah. There's two of them. Yeah. And then there's also blood lactate, but it's assumed that.
I started training competitively in CrossFit when I was 13. And that was just kind of a random, I actually didn't even know what training or competing in CrossFit even looked like. It definitely was a lot harder for me to get strong. That took a lot of time, many years to continue building. I was definitely very lean at the start, and I had a smaller build.
Phillips as well, they came darn close, but Lawson able to hang on at the end.
I could get by in the teen division, but I knew that going into the women's division, the girls are a lot stronger and the weights are just naturally a lot heavier. So if I wanted to have any chance at being competitive there, I had to be stronger. I knew for me that I felt really good when I was doing a lot of running. I felt like that translated over well. I also felt really good when my gymnastics felt good. Soon into me getting back into some sort of training schedule, I ended up hurting my back. And so I had a bulging disc at L5-S1. I was really frustrated at first that this had happened because I was like, oh, the season's starting soon, and it was all just like, oh no, how am I gonna do well if my back doesn't feel good? But I can't stop, can't take a season. That was just so not in the picture for me. And I think just slowing down and kind of just taking a breath for a sec was something that I really needed, and I don't think I would have taken that time had I not hurt my back. And I think it's allowed me to have this slow, gradual build of listening to my body and being in tune with my body and really taking the time and having the time to change my perspective on what training really looks like. And I think through that, I was able to come back to the feelings of this is fun to me. I get to train every day. I get to better myself every day. I've learned that being easier on yourself doesn't mean that you're working less hard. I used to think that if I'm not killing myself in the gym every day and I'm not being extremely disciplined in all areas of training, sleep, nutrition, recovery, all of the things, that I wasn't ever gonna have a chance at achieving my goals. And of course you need to be disciplined and you need to have all of those qualities, but it's also only human and natural to have bad days in there too. And accepting those bad days for what they are, not dwelling on the past because you can't change that workout you just did. You can only change what you do going forward now. And I think having that shift has really allowed me to enjoy this more and just feel more grateful for where I'm at right now. And I feel like I've been doing this long enough to know kind of what feels good to me, what works to me, and I definitely appreciate from the coach when they're like, you seem very receptive to that. But even before going into this conversation, I didn't really have a whole lot of expectation, but I was very impressed by the questions that you did ask me, because I just felt like you had done your research beforehand and you knew my strengths and weaknesses, and you already had this like approach and a plan. And that, as an athlete, to me just showed that you were committed to this, and that showed me that there was like some sort of trust there, and that just made me excited for whatever was next to come.